gifting really is the point of Christmas. When you think about it, we're all here to celebrate a gift, right? For God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in Him shall not perish but have everlasting life. I mean, it's a gift that God has given to us, that both in His Son, but it's also a gift that we might have everlasting life. You marry into a family, you get their traditions, right? My family has this tradition of, my wife's family has this tradition of Christmas Eve gift. Anybody else do that? Yeah. Oh, there's, we got it, Jen. And, okay, so this comes, my brother-in-law tells me this comes out of the South, and it was Scandinavia. All right.
There we go.
Well, good.
Keeps growing.
And the idea is that whoever says Christmas Eve gift first gets a present from the person they got. And so at 12:01 a.m., we ruled out texting. That wasn't allowed. But the phone will start ringing, and people will start going back and forth with each other. And it got me thinking about gifts. The gifts really are a major part. I mean, there are some gifts. Some people aren't really talented at giving gifts. An untalented person gives a gift that kind of reminds them of a weakness. Dietary chocolate. That's a bad idea. Exercise machines. Don't go there. Or maybe you don't really know the person very well. I had this aunt that every Christmas sent me pajamas. Now, I'm almost reaching the age where I'm starting to send my nephews and nieces pajamas. You know they need that. That's a need that they have. I mean, it's one step above underwear, but they need that. And so you might send it to them because you can get use out of it, but you don't know them well enough to know what they desire. A really, really great gift is one that the person knows you so well. They know you need it, and they know you desire it. And that sense of intimacy, that sense of, gosh, they really know me. That's the part that makes the gift really shine. And then when they go to extraordinary lengths to give it to you, wow, that's over the top. That's just over the top. You ever have gifts like that? I mean, I remember a year my parents gave me Hot Wheels and a fire truck. That met my desires, but it didn't have that extra level. I've had some of those extra level gifts. About 38 years ago, I think I did this on Prime. 38 years ago, my first Christmas with my wife, Laura. And I had always wanted a pocket watch. And she had collected coins in a milk urn since she was a little girl, about this high. And she took every single one of those coins, cashed them in, and bought me a gold pocket watch. When we were newly married, I needed a coat. And so she went out and she got a tailoring class, and she made me an overcoat. Now, in every relationship, there are moments of irrational intransigence on the part of the other person. And when we hit those moments of irrational intransigence, I look at these gifts and I know that she loved me. I know in her core she loves me. And I keep them to remind me. I've never given a gift to her of anything close to that level of significance. And it's really especially cool when you give a gift and you realize you've done it. You've touched that person to a level that just really connects. And you really did know them. And at that moment, there's a bond that's created between that connection, between that gift and that giving. This whole story of Christ, being a Christian, there's lots of different ways to tell this story. But the person who tells the story emphasizes those details that kind of reflect the things that he's thinking about or she's thinking about. But for me, this Christmas story is a story of a God who's sitting up there just looking down on this planet, and he says to himself, oh my gosh, these people are in trouble. They are so full of malice. They're chasing all the wrong things to be significant. It's like looking at a bunch of toddlers that are trying to be important by carrying more poop in their diaper longer than anybody else. You know? They don't know what it means to be complete. They don't know what it means to love one another or to love me. They don't understand me. And frankly, they've done some awful things, and I need to figure out a way to forgive them. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give them my son. I'm going to humble myself to the point of becoming one of them. I'm going to give away my glory. I'm going to become a human that they might know me, that they might see in my life what a fully realized human being can be. And that in the death of my son, I will find atonement for all that malice that I've seen from the past and from the future. And in that atonement, I then can reach out and touch them and love them and bring them into my family, not just while they're alive, but for forever. That's the gift of Christmas. We get lots of gifts from God in lots of different ways. This is an interesting thing. I was rummaging around in our euphemistically referred to storage unit, and I found this. Anybody know what this is?
It's a movie camera.
Wow. Yeah, exactly. A millimeter camera. So, we've been married for a few years, and we had little kids. It was kind of one of our first Christmases where they were kind of out of diapers, and well, Matthew was there, and my wife was saying, wow, you know, I have such fond memories of home movies, of our Christmases, home movies. I really wish we had a movie camera. Just her and I, conversation over breakfast. Only time it was ever mentioned between us. And at the time, we were just beginning the Sherry's restaurants, and I was so excited. I was probably 21 at the time, and I had real business cards, and we moved out of the mobile home office. We actually had a real office. You know, it was like 5 of us in one room, and it was really cool. And we were starting to grow this thing, and yet there wasn't always enough money to make payroll, and my payroll wasn't always the one that got paid. So the idea of moving a movie camera or buying a movie camera was just absurd. So there I am, sitting in my office, and a few days before Christmas, and a man who's trying to show me how to do bookkeeping and accounting, he's a contractor. He walks in, and he's got a box under his arm. And he comes in, and he sits it down on my desk, and he says, Kevin, he says, I've been praying, and God tells me you need a movie camera. Oh. I just went, huh? You need a movie camera. I don't know why, but this is it. I hope you don't have one because I really believe this is what God wants you to have. Set it on my desk. Wow. Now, the story for that for me is God gets little stuff. You know, there are times in our life where God can reach out and touch us in a way that just meets a need that's almost frivolous. I mean, it's not anything I would ever pray about. I mean, it's not like cancer or, you know, losing a leg. It's just a movie camera. But the fact that he took that moment to reach out and says, hey, remember that I'm here and that I love you. When all those things that you don't understand are there, remember this. I'm here and that I love you. And those are important moments. But the older I get, the more important comes the bigger gift. The gift of knowing every day that I am cherished by the Creator. The gift of knowing that I cannot do anything so bad that He can't forgive me. The gift of knowing that He wants me to be with Him forever. That's the gift. That's the one that counts. That's the one that makes us significant. And that's not a gift for me. That's a gift for all of us. I mean, this is good news that shall be for all people. When you walk outside tonight, look up at those stars. They're incredible. You can only see them out here. And realize that the Creator of that universe loves you, cherishes you, gave His Son for you, that you might come to know His love today and forever. Amen? Amen. Lord, your size and immensity is so great that it staggers us. And we thank you for the little things that you do to show us who you are and your love for us. But Lord, most of all this night, we separate ourselves from everything else around us and we remember the gift you gave us in that Son, that we might know who you are intimately and personally. You've given us a gift that meets our deepest needs because you love us. And we receive that, Lord, with joy and acceptance and faith in who you are today and forever. Amen. And with that, let's stand and sing Joy to the World.